I'm gonna make this video just so y'all have life wisdom. Get on the program if you actually want to level up your life. But I'm gonna make this video just to give y'all game and life wisdom. It's not always about working out, it's learning how to navigate life. And once you recognize that money, absence of money, don't make you a sucker or not, then you're gonna realize that the name of the game is just to never be a sucker ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Now, what is a sucker? A sucker is a person whose energy, whose confidence, whose self-esteem is, as in the advancing individual written and explained, extrinsically motivated. That's the most articulate way to say it. But understand that, like, there's people with money who are still sucker, lame ass niggas who do lame ass shit and who will still feel insecure and lack basic composure when around or exposed an exposure to something that is equally or greater awesome than them. Anytime I see something phenomenal in my environment, I salute that shit. I give it a pound. I'm like, thank you for letting me see what's possible. Some people, they hate that shit. You know, there's a law in the 48 laws of being a sucker. Rule number 1 apparently is don't outshine the master or some shit. But my rule and my counteraction to that is, if you feel like you could be outshined, then you're not a master. A true master is so tapped into themselves that they know that they could never be outshined. You see what I'm saying? So when you're around Sheikhy Chic, you're going to either have to dial into your individuality and love yourself and respect yourself, or you're gonna feel weird. Second thing I want to say, you know, because I don't want to force nothing, just understand that there's suckers with money and there's suckers without money. Money don't make you real. Being broke don't make you real. Money don't make you fake. Being broke don't make you necessarily as fake. It definitely makes you a little fake. Now, I want to give y'all this gem too. There's a lot of people in this world who only act nice or act kind so that they can give themselves false information to make themselves believe that they're a good person. For example, I walk in the spot yesterday, shit go to glitching as always, because Sheikhy Chic is just so high vibrational, it's just what it is. Like, who is he? He is here. He's here, all right? When I get there, what happens is, this individual is not reflecting, they're projecting. And they're just staring at me, right? Like, I never in my life stared at another man. You know what I mean? Like, that's some mook shit for real. And there's a lot of mooks out here. I ain't never stared at another person. Also, I know that that's weird. That's strange. So if you staring at me, that means something about me is captivated by your CNS, your central nervous system. Whether you're conscious of it as a cognitive measure or not, you as an organism are captivated by me and your environment. So you're perceiving a threat of some sort. So you need to read and scan me, and you get caught in that daze, but you don't realize that, like, I'm a conscious being and you're not, and I'm seeing you stare at me, caught up in a daze, worried about my presence. That shit is weird. Don't do that to people. Don't stare at people. If you see somebody, say salam alaikum, give them peace. Don't stare. That shit is strange. That shit. What did 50 Cent say? He said, when you meet me, when you see me, if you real, my nigga, you know how to holla G unit. He said, I don't want to be in the pen for clapping the fan. Feel me? I don't want to be in the pen for clapping the fan. So, as I'm in the spot, I'm just giving y'all the anecdote so I can give y'all the main synopsis. I'm in the spot, I'm like, yo, dude, like, where I'm from, we don't stare at people. That's considered rude, that's considered awkward, that's considered disrespectful. He doesn't know I speak Arabic. So he starts going around the environment, because there's other suckers in the room who low-key hating, you know what I mean? So now they get a mutual frequency of group team up hating at a nigga. That's when you really know you that nigga. You like Thanos, positive Thanos. When niggas gotta create the Avengers to, like, feel better about themselves. Anyway, so the dude is like, he starts telling people that I'm staring at him in Arabic. And I'm like, so I start speaking Arabic. I'm like, you stared at me, bro. He's like, oh, you speak Arabic? I'm like, nah, I'm fucking cuckoo, bro. I'm out my fucking rocker, bro. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta know how to play the game a little bit. But niggas is always gonna underestimate you and overestimate themselves. And a real nigga is never gonna overestimate or underestimate nothing. They gonna walk in with zero bias, read the room, feel the room, not necessarily want to feel right, not necessarily want to be correct, but after being so willing to doubt myself and giving everybody the benefit of me doubting myself, I've done that for so long that I have now the benefit of forever trusting myself. Anyway, don't be a sucker. And I say this because you got to pay attention to people who act like they're not. He was like, oh, I was just trying to, like, you know, be cool and he's bugging. Now you playing a victim. No, bro. You was dead ass being weird. And I'm not even speaking. It's just all energy. It's all nonverbal. It's all truth. But when you hold people accountable who don't reflect, they project. And now everybody's projecting. And I just realized, like, the nigga had to pretend to other people like he was being a good person and I was being weird. When I wasn't being weird, I was just being there. Like, I'm just here. And, like, just because I'm here, you're doing all of that. Right. If I wasn't here, it wouldn't have cascaded like the domino effect. Whatever you why your world is yours. So, I say that all to say, there's another lesson in suckers. I done seen people, hey, good morning, sabah al-khair, buenos dias, right? And they saying what up to their mans or whatever, or somebody else in the morning in the community. And then what happens is, as soon as they like stop the ha ha he he salam good morning blah blah blah, as soon as the motherfucker turn their back, you see a nigga go like, switch his whole energy into some like enemy shit. You feel me? So my thing is, like, when I walk into any space, I don't play the game. There's a social game, and if you look up the sociological concept called dramaturgy, then you'll realize that, like, and there's a book, I forgot by the author, but you can look it up, social representation or social presentation in everyday life or some shit. Then you realize how many people are playing a game. They're playing a robotic, mechanized human form of social interaction, but they're not aware of their subconscious. They're not truly in tune with their motivations, their drives, and shit like that. And when you become a higher level being, a fully integrated being, your shadow and you are one. I'm so in tune with the dark side of me that I'm in tune with the dark side of everybody else. I'm choosing to not, and I'm choosing to sublimate, and I'm choosing to operate from my super ego, when most people are literally walking around operating out of their id, and the best they could do is pretend they have a super ego to cover up their ego. How do you why your world is yours? The lesson here is to never be a sucker. There's too many suckers in this world. And the main gem I need to tell y'all is, like, having money don't make you not a sucker. There's suckers with money, and there's suckers without money. There's fake niggas with money, and there's fake niggas without money. So being real is something that you just gotta be. Being authentic, being solid, being somebody of character, being somebody that's thorough. It's just something you gotta be. You know, when I look at a person who's out of shape, I can't help but to recognize you lie to yourself. I look at a person who's on drugs, I can't help but to recognize you lie to yourself. I can't help but to recognize, as a broke person, you lame as fuck. Like, so whatever you why your world is yours, these are the indications of a person who really is at the highest level, low level. So when you get on the program, like, at this point, we're not focused on working out. Yeah, I mean, that's basic shit. Make yourself into the most developed and cultivated version of yourself, of course. But what you need to actually do is realize that you need to make yourself professional at being you, so that we can professionally develop you and actually get you into a space to earn money. There's infinite amounts of money out here. There's infinite amounts of respect. There's infinite amounts of personal power. You know, but if you a nigga that gotta suck juice, that makes you a sucker. There's people out here that need to suck juice from other people, who need to hate, who need to drain, who need to siphon, who need to interact with an external source in order to get their energy and to sustain themselves. And that's the definition of a sucker, you know? Like, niggas trying to throw dirt on your name, you a sucker. If you a hater in the comments, you a sucker. You know what I'm saying? Because what you really trying to do is get money, power, and respect by sucking juice from another nigga, you know what I mean? So, consider vibrations raised, evolution only solution, self-mastery only success. You know, it's just, when are you gonna wake up and choose to be the realest version of yourself possible? You know, everybody wants to wonder, like, when did it start? How did it start? Bro, as soon as you get sick of being a hypocrite, because you keep tolerating yourself being a hypocrite, you're gonna be everything that you want to be. And once you recognize that you don't have as much time as you've ever had in your life, and that you're actually running out of time and you don't have forever, to do and be everything that you want to do. So everything that you've been wanting to do, everything that you've wanted to become, all of the negative aspects of yourself, you need to rid yourself so that you can actually enjoy yourself. Time to enjoy yourself. You can't enjoy yourself until you're actually proud of yourself. So you don't have as much time to do all that shit. I don't give a fuck. We all gotta leave this bitch, you feel me? So it's nothing to be kept, nothing to be lost, really. Everything is gonna be lost in a heartbeat. So some people will look at that and be like, oh, well, there's no point to life. If there's no point to life, and you're like, well, we all end up in the same place, and that's your rhetoric for being a loser, then I'm gonna tell you to do one thing. Jump shit. Why are you still here? Are you afraid to not be here? Or are you actually attached to this life, but you're such a low-level piece of shit that you rather rationalize being a low-level piece of shit than actually maximizing your opportunity to do and be and have and experience everything that is ever possible that's not going to be possible very soon. Consider the vibration phase. Evolution, only solution. Self-mastery, only success. Don't be a sucker. A sucker is a person who needs to suck juice. Don't be a person who needs to suck juice. I never had to suck juice off of nobody. I ain't never had to stare at nobody, be weird towards nobody, hate on nobody, get close to nobody. You know what I mean? Really. And once you get to this level of self-sufficiency, this is when you end up embodying God consciousness. You become associated with no real partners. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can't say that because ultimately we're in the universe and we're all like manifestations of the one in diverse form, and we have to respect the differences, and we have to respect the fact that we all have to interact. But you recognize that you learn and you observe and you acquire insight and information. But ultimately, you put it on yourself to do it and be it for yourself. You become the greatest source of your inspiration. So you take this inspiration from Sheik. You take this superior information from Sheik. You take this swag, you know what I'm saying? Because it's personality. A lot of y'all niggas don't got no personality. You take these personality aspects that are superior. You integrate them into your own being. And you manifest and synthesize a new level of personal genius. And you become the maximized version of yourself. Only interact, only absorb, only integrate people who have superior personalities that don't give a fuck and that actually live positive and that don't suck juice and that manifest and create value from thin air as we were designed to, as we were designed by and of. Consider the vibrations raised. You figure that shit out.